I am a very focused, determined person. Tim would say tenacious. I think one of my better skills is playing the hand that I'm dealt in life. My name is Susan O'Rourke, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2015. I had a sleep DBS in 2020, and I'm a DBS champion. So while I was diagnosed in 2015, the Parkinson's definitely was working on me for a great deal longer than that. Okay, the first things, years ago, I would get tingling in my right hand, like pins and needles kind of a thing. And then I had trouble typing, especially these two fingers. I just couldn't, I used to play the piano, couldn't do that anymore.
The symptoms were obvious to her, they were obvious to me, they were not extreme. It was not so much any tremors, it was a lack of mobility. I couldn't take long walks with her because she would walk so slowly.
We went to Barcelona for 6 weeks at the end of 2018, and I could barely walk a block. And it's, okay, Tim, I have to sit a few minutes. It was really getting in the way. And so I knew that at a minimum, I had to change doctors, I had to get charge of my weight, I had to find a movement disorder specialist. And then Dr. Clark is the one who suggested the DBS might help. I didn't know anything about it that much until she brought it up, and then I started researching like crazy.
MRI-Guided DBS certainly is a newer option, and we used to do, and we still do actually, surgeries with what's called MER guidance, with microelectrode recording. So it is based on images that were obtained before the surgery, and we refine the surgery by recording the physiology, the activity of the brain cells to make sure that we're in the right spot. So the advantage of MRI-guided surgery is that we don't need to do that mapping part or the neurophysiology part that often requires multiple passes through the brain. With MRI guidance, we actually see the target and place our electrode in the target, confirm our location, and this obviates the need for potentially multiple passes through the brain.
And they were talking about awake versus, MRI guided, And I said, well, this awake thing is not very appealing to me.
There was apprehension about the surgery. We knew what the surgery was. We knew she couldn't do it awake. And the idea that it could be done with MRI-guided surgery was just, that was it.
I have a previous history of panic attacks and clinical depression. Doctors Asmi and Clark were aware of that, and I certainly figured into our discussion and decision to go with the asleep version of DBS.
Susan was an excellent DBS candidate, but her degree of anxiety was high, and that's not uncommon in people with Parkinson's disease. And in general, we're able to do these surgeries whether we do them awake or with MRI guidance. But with MRI guidance, we have the option of having the patients be comfortable and not have to be awake during parts of the surgery. And it's actually perfect for patients with anxiety.
I would absolutely do the asleep DBS procedure again in a heartbeat. What it has given me is at least, I believe, another 10 to 20 years of quality life, the ability to travel and to do the projects I'm passionate about. I'm 71 years old, so I guess that's optimistic, but yes, I would do it again.
Being part of her getting her life back, I think, is very gratifying, and you see the results.
I think you need to trust your doctor implicitly. I think you need to have a movement disorder specialist. I think you should ask your doctor, can I speak to patients that have had this procedure before?
Even though there is currently no cure for it, people can live well with Parkinson's disease and live long with Parkinson's disease and have a good quality of life. So not giving up hope is very important. And I think she's a perfect example of that.
I kept moving forward, and I'm in the middle of a second act that's every bit as good. Every bit as good. So you just keep moving forward. It's your only choice.
Ask your neurologist if MRI-guided lead placement is right for you. While MRI-guided DBS procedures can offer benefits, all forms of surgeries performed in the brain can pose serious risks. These risks include infection, excessive bleeding, adverse reactions to anesthesia, severe brain injury, or death. It is important to discuss the risks of pursuing a treatment with your physician to understand how they should impact your personal therapy decision. An MRI-guided DBS procedure is not for everyone. You may need to meet certain medical guidelines assessed by your physician. You will likely have a screening process to see if MRI-guided DBS is right for you. The MRI-guided DBS is an advanced technology that is not available at all care centers and requires approval from your insurance to cover the expense. Check with your health insurance plan or your regional Medicare or Medicaid office to find out if your policy covers this procedure.